Here we are on West Hoe in Plymouth, and we're just looking at some more of the shrapnel scars around the city from the Luftwaffe raids. And as you can see here, there's a few of these granite curbstones all around Plymouth, and this is opposite one of the bomb sites, and you can see the fracture marks in here which are caused from some of the bombs. Some of those marks over the city might be caused by heavy haulage over the time, but you tend to work out which of the scars are the ones from the bombs. Now the bombs that landed here are at the site of the former Mayflower Hotel, which is now a development site for new hotels. And as you can see along the wall here, we've got some infill from the old cobblestones from the streets. Now up above here on West Hoe, which is now the development site, there was a lovely row of old houses which were all lost during the bombing raid. You can see all these big cobblestones here which have been patched up on this wall here. And in the background, which we're going to walk through here, is one of the only remaining surface air raid shelters among the city. There was more than 1,000 shelters built in Plymouth. There was a lot of surface shelters a little bit like this. You may ask why it's open today, because obviously it wouldn't have offered protection if you stood in there with bombs landing down on you, but basically it was opened up as a sun shelter in the 60s. You can see the reinforced 6-inch concrete roof on here, and the way it's been formed, pretty much like the Anderson shelter, the wavy steel, so that's what they used. Sheets are corrugated to form the bomb-proof roof there. Well, I say bomb-proof, some of these did take direct hits and obviously loss of life as well. There was a lot of the surface shelters were to be found dotted around the streets of like Stonehouse, Keyham, some off the side of buildings, some planted in the middle of streets, and all they are was pretty much like a brick shed with a reinforced concrete roof. Now you can see in here all the way along, this would have been housed around 60 people in 3 different sections. There would have more than likely been blast walls on the outsides as well, and benches running along here, pretty much like there is today. 3 holes in the top, they would have been for ventilation. There'd have been some sort of gas-proof ventilation in case there was a gas attack in here. Not much, well, I say that not much safer, but so even the underground shelters took direct hits. But you know, we spoke to some of the people who sheltered in these during the war, and after they started taking direct hits, many people never actually used shelters. You know, they actually sometimes stayed at home with their families in the family guard at Anderson shelters, or beneath the stairs, wherever they could get, or even trekking out to Dartmoor each night like many families did to just try and escape the raids. As you can see as we're walking along here, a few bits of graffiti. You know, it's had a bit of misuse over the years, but it's still one of the lucky survivors of Plymouth. So all the air raid shelters that have been lost in the city to demolition. So it is a nice structure, and hopefully when the development happens of the hotel behind it, it can survive and maybe made into a mural. There's no information board to tell you what this is, so we've actually created the Plymouth Blitz trail maps to actually put this on the map to give you a bit of a clue to its history. Because what you've got to imagine is, on the night of the heavy raids during March and April, when the properties were hit above us, literally this whole shelter would have been reverberating with the crashes and sounds and booms, and just the screams of people, you know, the terror outside from the what was raining down up above. And as we come out here, as you can see, we just looked at the previous site of the Royal Western Yacht Club, which we spoke about previously, overlooking Plymouth Sound. And just panning back over to the yacht club, the old Royal Western Yacht Club, which is now the modern apartments, to show you the contrast between the original Grand Hotel build and the modern. and then the ultra modern, which is waiting to be developed.
I think you have to specify, Paul, that this shelter's been opened up.
Yes, yeah, opened up we think it's in the 60s, so opened up as a sun shelter. Rather than demolishing the whole thing, they've actually converted and just knocked the sides out to open it up to lovely views onto Plymouth Sound here and over West Hoe.